Hey, it's Jason from Bohemia Bees, and as you know, we love innovation here at Bohemia Apiary. We're the co-founders of the Queen Right Dial with Brian Coper from Castle Hives, and we've tried different style beehives over the years. You've seen a couple different videos. There's one from a gentleman in New York that we used for a while. We even built our own long hive. So we've got different hive styles. We like to try different things. As you know, we like to do different things, but in this video, we're going to talk about a very unique hive that was made for a special purpose, and we're going to test it out this year and see how it does. Stay tuned. Okay, friends, so this is really a new style of hive it's not a brand new invention per se, but it's a modification using some different techniques that a friend of ours, Greg Joyner, has used to build. He's a woodworker by trade. He really loves to build with his hands and build things with wood. And he just got into bees a little while back, I guess. And he wanted to build a hive that I could test out here at Bohemia Apiary. And so we did. He built this hive. We're going to talk about the different things that the hive makes it unique. It is a long hive. It's not your traditional Langstroth hive, but we'll get into it. We'll talk a little bit about it and maybe some of the reasons why he did what he did. We've got bees in it, and you'll see that here in a bit, how we got them in there. But let's take a look at the hive, and we'll do a little tour. All right, so you can see the bees coming and going out of that side entrance. This actually can be divided into two different hives. There's a divider board, division board in the middle, as we have shown before. It has different entrance reducers that can be removed. There's a nail that's in here. We had this one taped off just because I couldn't get it out. It was stuck at night when I put it in there. I was putting the bees in. I didn't want them to move over to that side. But this is what's happening right now. They're orienting. This has only been here for a few days, and they got a little break in the weather. So they're orienting now, doing some orientation flights. As you can see in the air, they go up and circle around, orient against the sun and the location, and they're going to come back. Looks like they're settled in. Let's take a look at the components of the hive. If you walk around the back side, a couple of things, very well made. You can see the craftsmanship on this is fantastic. The metal roofing allows the water to rain off the sides. It is a style that's more like a barn style roof, and you'll see that when we open the inside. The bottom has a clean out tray that's latched that can be opened. I think it's going to be stuck because of the heat. Oh, no, there we go. You can see down there, we got a clean out tray that can be pulled and empty the various scraps that potentially bees will do to clean out, maybe some good airflow. Also on the back side, this is not another entrance. These can be opened and closed to ventilate the hive and let the airflow from the back side go through. We have a northwest wind that comes across here, so they were bearding yesterday, so I might leave this open just to test it out, but I'll close the other one off. I don't want them to get a whiff of that other side of the hive. Again, we've got another cleanup valve over here, or cleanup compartment. Okay, so getting in the hive, again, we've got the latches, and he built it well that I don't really need to lift this too hard. You can see it's very, very, very easy to lift. Now, the style of hive that's in here is very unique. It's a frame that's like a top bar hive, but it's a Langstroth style. So you can see that right here, and that's a traditional bottom foundation, and then a super up top. We probably would not harvest honey in here, but this is big enough to actually slide a honey super on top of these hives for them to come up and work if we so choose. Right now we just have a screened inner cover. We installed these the other day, so they've kind of gotten up in the screened inner cover, so we're gonna get them taken care of. But it also has, sections that when you have 10 frames, and here there's a opening or slat that's not tight like a top bar, so that you can put that honey super upper and have them come through it. In addition to that, you can put something, we have a screen inner cover that we've set on here that allows the bees to come around and work the colony, but not allow them to come up inside and build inside the cavity up here. But this gives a dead air space. It allows the bees to be able to have that temperature regulation in the hive. The air that's in there will be like in the wintertime, the hot air will rise and it'll keep it in the hive, but it won't overheat them in the summertime. So it's a really well designed. We're hoping it's going to last for a couple years. I do have a concern about ants getting in here. We're going to work through that. There's a little bit over there in the corner. We got some division boards if we want to make them even more divided. Maybe make a nuke and split it somehow if we wanted to. Let's pull one of the frames out with bees and see how they're doing. Okay, so we're going to pull this off. We just smoked them a little bit. And you can see the bees are down in there. This was a swarm that we caught that we're going to pull out a frame and see if they're actually working. I like the fact that he has this separate space over here. You can kind of put them in off to the side. So down here you can see they're starting to build that comb out right there. A lot more bees down in there. All right. So there we go. We got the colony right there. There's your queen right there in the middle. You can see her walking around looking for a place to lay. And they put some honey on this. One's got pollen down here, but they're starting to draw all that comb out, which is what you want. And we know she's on this frame, so. All right, so we've gone through a couple frames. We saw the queen. You can see they're drawing out this foundation really nice. They're not building any kind of wacky comb, which is what we were worried about. We made sure we had heavy wax on these to put on there, so they're drawing that out, making a deposit of the honey in their bellies that they bring in. That's a good thing. And we'll let them organize this nest, and really when she starts laying, start to understand then how she's, going to build the nest in this style. If she builds it like a traditional, top bar or not. They're really working on all these frames, front and back, which is a great thing because I want to make sure that they definitely build that comb out. So definitely can need to get something to get a hold of, take care of these ants. That's one of the things. You can see the ants that are up there. Put a little cinnamon on that track or something like that. We'll figure something out to help keep those ants at bay. But this is the long hive. We're going to take this and put that tight. The division board in the middle here, which is really nice, it's a little thicker. It's got a way to vent it so they can not touch each other because it's a double screen on both sides. So that's going to be really nice to keep the bees from going in the other side. Let's put this back together. Very easy to work so far. And we'll close her up. All right, let's show you quickly how we got the bees in the hive. I know that should have been the first video, but we got the bees and it kind of put the cart before the horse. So here, watch a quick video here on how we caught a swarm and how we used these unique frames to be able to get the swarm on those frames, and then at night bring them and transfer them into this colony. That's how we got them here to start to build out. But everything looks good in the colony so far, so I'm really excited. But take a look at this, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so we've got a swarm here in the tree, and we're going to use the new Langstroth hive to put them in. I've got the frames that were custom built. You can see it's a new test hive that we're trying out. We'll get into the details and show you how we're going to put it in. Let's try to get this swarm in this box. We put it too deep so that they would fit, of course, because it's sort of a bigger than a deep. Let's shake them in the box and see what we can do. right, it is nighttime, and we picked our swarm up, and they are now in the long hive. The inaugural set of bees, or colony of bees, in the long hive. We'll check them in the morning, see how they're doing. Okay, so you can see how we got the bees in there. You can see how they're oriented. We just looked at that. But this is going to be a really interesting hive to watch through the summer. So you want to subscribe to the channel. You want to follow along. We're going to call this Harold's Hive, right, for Harold Joyner, and dedicate that to him. That was Greg's father, I believe, and Greg built this and donated it to the apiary to allow us to actually test it for him, to see some of his thoughts and kind of how his mind works on how he builds things, to see if it was going to work. So we've got bees in it now, so stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. We'll try to put a playlist together for this as well, so that you can watch along as the time progresses with the Harold's Hive, and hopefully we can see some progress. Maybe we'll get another colony or swarm to put on the other side, see how that works out, or maybe this will just boom and we can let it actually build out into the other side and then do a split in here. That would be kind of cool. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, follow along. Harold's Hive, see how it works here at Bohemia Apiary. Where beekeeping for us, well, you know, it's more than a hobby. It's an obsession. Thanks for watching.